Hello everyone, just currently on Wave Lava, and I'm just going to be showing off this base. I made slight changes to it. All I did was move the wall over to join, and that wasn't meant to happen, to join up with the rest of the floors that I had originally there before. It made no sense as why I had a wall running between the middle of the two floors. So all I did was move it over and place the wall launchers on it to make sure if there was any issues that they'd be knocked back. However, I was in a game watching this and I've managed to get real close to making them all path over the geyser at lava, and they were pathing all over the geyser at lava. So what I've done over at their spawn, I've tried to delete as many of the traps as I possibly could. So I've tried to remove as many of the gas traps. I think I've still mistakenly left one or two gas traps near the edge, near their spawn when they're pathing up. But for the majority of it, there isn't any traps coming all the way down towards the geyser. What I am doing though is I'm using a hard block off and a completely different vertical block off to discourage them from going through the middle. I will make a thing in a bit showing you how to do the vertical block off. But for this, what I've managed to do is get them all pathing down the right hand side. I made a very slight change to this. Originally I had steps and they kept breaking through the second step trying to get down. So what I've actually done is I tried to make it higher to start with and then put a ramp going down onto a kind of pyramid piece that they like to jump on. I was playing around with different structures on top of the actual geyser to see at what height I could still trigger the geyser to activate. And you'll see in a bit that there's a pyramid there. But what's actually happening, they're all pathing down and they're getting stuck on a tar trap, which I've left up there. I'm going to see about deleting all the traps completely and doing it as a zero trap run. Because as I say, there's only like a couple of gas up the top there, some wall launchers on the side, and then this wooden floor spike and a tar trap. But I'm going to try and delete all these entirely and get another run in without any of these traps. But as you can see, they're pathing very nicely all to the geyser. They take two routes. They go through the cave entrance on the right hand side, and they also take the pathway over the top and then jump down. Obviously I was standing at a place then a bit because I'm not on the lava island and the propane had come and aggroed me. Otherwise, now I'm down, I get a good I can get a good chance to actually see this working. So this is the pyramid that I put here. This pyramid is what they're going to be just wanting to jump down onto, and yeah, whether it's the pyramid or not the pyramid, it's definitely doing well. So I'm gonna play around with this. This is just merely just an update video to show you that I'm very close to getting it working, and we'll be having it as zero trap soon. So yeah, I hope it'll get working soon. I'm just going to run back over now and try and just show you, like, basically just so you can get a good look at what's going on. So flying straight over to the lava ramp, I'm going to try and get up the top. Here is the pyramid piece that I have placed down. It can still trigger the husks to still fly up into the air if you hit any point in the pyramid. If I can get up, right, here we go. There's the floor spikes on the floor, and here's the wall launchers. Originally I had a wall going between the two and an archway at the end of the pathway. By the end of the wall launchers, which I didn't originally have, I just put wall launchers on to try this build out. But I really don't think I'm going to be needing them. These wall darts I will be removing, as well as the other couple of gas traps up the top. Through here we have a different kind of block off. We have a vertical block off. So I've done this by creating a cone, a floor, then another ramp. This ramp will work because even when they jump up to the top end of the ramp, they'll still be jumping way too many tiles if they jump down. So the game mechanics won't necessarily like the husks jumping 4 tiles. So they'll still try and break through that tile. So it technically still kind of counts as an extra tile for them to try and bash. You then have another floor and another wall, so for them to break down, they wouldn't only have to break a cone on the floor, they then have to break through a wall and a ramp if they want to avoid dropping 4 tiles. So they can get their 3 tile drop off kind of range. And yeah, so I'll just show you how I do this vertical block off. So if I come out of this clip and just head into the game. Hey guys, I'm just going to go over to Lava Ramp. I'm just going to show you the current state of Lava Ramp compared to what would have been seen some time ago, which was my design I'd done a while back that you would have seen being used. However, I've been developing this, and at the moment, this was what was being seen in that clip. So the traps they would have been getting hit by would have been these traps or these traps up here. What did happen at the start of the round is I believe the propane were blowing up this area. This would have been because of my positioning. I think at the start of the game where I screwed up and managed to fall into the lava, and I was placing myself over here. I was kind of actually wanting to see, I was standing still for a bit because I wanted to see whether it would actually screw anything up, and it really appears to do so. The propane are very much trying to aggro onto you. So at the bottom of this structure, we will actually, I'll start back at the top again. So going back to the top, so where we would have all these traps, I'll hopefully be intending on getting rid of all of these and doing it without in a future run. It's something that I've been wanting to do. So what we're going to do around here is we're just going to block off, really hard block off everything from this side. So we've got this side blocked off a bit up there, and we've got this side blocked off, but we don't block off anything up here whatsoever. This ramp, stupidly, I've left it that way. It's meant to be like this. Yeah. So you can encourage or discourage the mini bosses and smashers to go up this way, as well as like propane, laser boys and stuff on the hill amp. And if you leave it this way, you can encourage the husks to want to go down here for the E-amp, which is lava. So the husks, what they'll be doing is they'll be pathing through this way, down towards the geyser, through this way, and down towards the geyser, or they'll be coming from down here, and we have all these hard block offs, and we're going to funnel them up to the top near here, and we're just going to try and force them this side again towards the geyser. How we're going to do this is by having these hard block offs. I will be trying this without all the traps. We're just going to be creating a whole row around the entire side. So this entire side is just going to be block offs. I'm not exactly the most professional block offer, so if you've got a bit more knowledge than me, use yours, but I'm doing this as best as I know how to do the block offs. However, something I have done is created a different kind of block off, which is a vertical block off, which I use to kind of try to funnel the husks down the sides. Well, I don't funnel them around that side, but it's just the left side I want them going around. This side I've got blocked off on the right, but down here is a vertical block off. So what we do is we'd have a pyramid, so, and then a floor. So this is where there's a 2-tile drop off down, and then over here, so if I just let you see the terrain, so this area here would be where there's a drop off that they drop 2 tiles to drop down. This area here underneath is a 4-tile drop off. So here's the 2 tiles drop, and here is a 4-tile drop. Now when the husks are up the top of this side, what they're going to see is this block off. So they'd have to break through a wall, then a corner piece, then they'd have to break through a, so when the husks get up to the top here, they'd have to be breaking not only one of these wall pieces, but also one of a cone and one of a floor before they even get down to this next tile area. But the only problem is what I've managed to do is by doing this vertical kind of block off, is that what we're trying to force them to do is always have a drop of 4 tiles whatever the structure shape, and they have to break through multiple structures to get to an area where they can actually drop 3 tiles. So once they actually do break these and manage to get through, they're going to then see this as the next area, which will then be another thing for them to break just to get down to the 3 tile area. They won't be breaking through this floor, but they will try and break through this wall here to get off around here and be able to go down. Something I can do, which I think I might have done this slightly wrong. I did do this for a reason before, but I think what I would do is just have these as the up facing ramps as well to force them again to have more space to drop down, or they will just break through here anyways. But otherwise they could just pop out here. But what we've effectively done in this small little space is we've not only created one, so going back up the top, we've not only created 1, 2, 3, but then a 4 tile. We'll create like a 4 structure block off, and then 5 for the wall. So the vertical ones are just giving a 4 structures of block off, and then this is 5 just for this little area here on this one kind of zone spot just under here and this wall. So what it's doing is this is creating a lot of block off within this short sort of space, which should be deterring them away, which is what was happening. So they were funneling all the way around here to not want to try and break through all of this excess structures, which doesn't give them any angles to jump down apart from a 4 tile drop. So what they're doing is they're actually pathing along here. Originally I used to have these walls going along the center here with an opening here to allow them to pass through, as well as an opening here to allow them to pass through. And then I used to have this, but what I've done was I thought this is kind of pointless, and so what I've done is gone and got rid of this completely and just had it with these. Now as we come through to the end, what I've done is left this because this is nice. So this was on my last one, or yeah, it should have been on my other design. This is a kind of edited corner piece out. Now the reason I edit this corner piece out is because if this was left as a full piece, they would be able to come across to this end and want to break the walls so that they could jump down onto this section here, which could be a 3 tile drop for them. So in order to remove this, we create this little corner edit piece out, which means they have no way to be able to jump down from ground to ground to get there, and they don't have an angle to jump down onto this piece. So what they're going to do is they're going to want to come down either through one of these 2 channels. They're going to come down this slope and go onto the jet, or they're going to come down here, and what they can even do from here is different husks do different types of things. So they can either come back here and start running back up the tunnel, or they can come down and they will then land here. They're kind of in a funny spot here, so what they'll do is then they'll walk around and go around. The problem I had in that clip was what you saw is I forgot to place these, so you kind of want to have some sort of guide to get the propane to be coming down here and not just jumping off this side edge there. Now if you were standing over here on the island, they should be aggroing towards your kind of direction, and what they'll do is they'll path along this water jet. That's what I hope and what I think should happen. So obviously, as you've seen, I wasn't on that water jet, but normally if you're standing on the island, they'll path around here, and then they should try and lob at you from here or throw their crap at you. What we've also been doing is this wall's been an on-off wall, deciding whether to keep it or lose it, and this, so it's just been removed for this build. And what we've done is, yeah, this cone's been added. This helps connect up structures, as well as also if you were to, for instance, stand here, you'd still get launched, as well as if you jumped directly on top. So I wanted the piece that even if the husk jumped directly on top of, it gives them the extra elevation for them to jump onto, to be encouraged to jump down, but also they can then fling, they can still get flung by the actual water jet. I've still decided to keep these places around because I'm a big fan of speed traveling around the map. So these jump pads are still a very important part of the build. Next, we do have these structures. You do not have to use these archways. This is part of another strat that I'm using and busy been testing for a while. But what we can do is you just want to have these archways in the corner of this base. So you don't have to be using any of these whatsoever. And I can also get rid of them for this build. I'll just get rid of them. And yeah, you'll be having these archways here. Then the floor pieces will be connected up, going around to this pyramid piece, which will have no floor underneath it. And this should be the build which I will be changing it to. I will just be adding these pieces on the side, and I will be testing to see how well this works. Otherwise, what I might do is just add the one extra wall on the side, because I really don't like it when stuff paths over here to try and throw their tanks at you. Again, lobbers and propane shouldn't be able to throw from up here, so you should be fine on that with them just pathing down nicely. I will be trying to remove this tar pit, however for the minute it seems to be doing quite nice because they're not beating on any walls, but I will be removing this tar pit and then retesting to show what happens with and without the tar pit. But currently I believe this is helping this build work by having this ramp going down and this pyramid piece here. Originally I used to have steps. The steps didn't work very well because it would work very well with smashers and the other husk types like propane and mini bosses, but it was very much not working for the smaller husks. So the normal husks and mini husks and yeah, just the normal ones and huskies, because they'd be aggroing differently and they're all trying to just get to your base, so they wouldn't be worried about trying to necessarily come to aggroing down this section or aggroing towards the players, but they just want to aggro towards the base. So by having it like this, I'm creating a much greater height here for them to not want to necessarily drop down from this section so early, because they've still got this extra little bit of drop space. So it's going to be the 1, 2, 3, and then this extra little bit of space just down here as well to be trying to drop. So this should keep them from wanting to jump down on this section. And then I have one ramp just bringing them down here with a raised up surface there. This definitely was helping stopping them going crazy on this wall in the game you just saw. So yeah, I was just uploading this as a update video. I will be doing this same build and removing all the traps, and hopefully since the pathing was fine, I didn't see nothing kind of beating on anything. I don't think these wall launchers are doing anything at all, and they should just path all nicely across here and get jetted off by the jet. So yeah, look forward to that video coming out soon, and hopefully this will be a 0 trap build. So you'll just be able to just leave this, sit on the island and just watch everything go into the lava. Well, that's the hope anyway, since that smashers, propane and the mini boss already before my previous build weren't an issue. They would naturally kind of path down here anyway. So the only hardships I had was the smaller husks and the huskies. And now since they're pathing perfectly fine, I believe that the smashers and the mini bosses should also be perfectly fine coming down here as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this. This is just an update video just before I'm going to be trying to build my sort of final build for making this really work with 0 traps if possible. That's my hope, that I really want to build with this amplifier. So I hope you enjoyed this update video. Bit of a ramble on, sorry about that, but yeah, this is where I'm at the build. Hope you enjoy, guys. See ya.